one of the best marketing strategies for high-end brands is collaborations, is co-branding. So so we don't reinvent the wheel. We just try to do what's proven in the industry.
How do you keep the coherence? How do you use storytelling to talk about your brand and market it properly? And how do you target the best partnerships to boost your brand awareness?
Many companies are still figuring out how they can use AI, but before figuring out, they have this need of educating their collaborators, their board members, in order to integrate AI as a very important component of their strategy.
Actually, your book, I've read a couple of chapters, and it's really interesting because what you say is that you need to do your work, have integrity, make sure that your work is perfect and improve it and enhance it and communicate, and then just trust the process. And even if you fail, success will come.
Welcome to Melting Spices podcast, where we explore bold transitions, layered identities, and the flavors of reinvention. Today's guest is Youssef Ghalem, an entrepreneur who left the corporate track to build cubicle, Miratti, and different ventures in AI. His story is all about resilience, reinvention, and staying grounded through the ups and downs of business. If you enjoy the episode, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really helps us keep the stories going. Let's dive in.
So your journey began with a foot injury and some math tutorial videos.
Yes.
Can you take us back to when you just started cubicle, and where did you get the idea from? How did it go?
First of all, I'm happy to be with you, Zainab.
Thank you so
It's
much.
been a while we didn't have a conversation since we were in the preparatory classes. So back in the day, in 2012, or even in the period between 2010 and 2012, I was working in different companies, but I was still looking for myself. I was still figuring out my path. I noticed that I had a lot of ideas, a lot of creativity, lots of energy, but I didn't find let's say, the platform to leverage all of these assets. So I started a discovery journey, let's say it this way. I started experiencing different things. I remember I had watched the movie called The Bucket List, and that inspired me to test new things. Between these things, I had my own website, my own YouTube channel. So things that attracted me, that seemed cool, and that corresponded more or less to my aspirations. So I didn't have this exact idea where I would start from, but I remember that when I had this injury, this famous injury in my leg, I stayed home for like 3 weeks, and I just spent my time binge watching YouTube videos. At the time there was no Netflix whatsoever, so I stumbled upon a video of Khan Academy, Salman Khan, speaking in a TEDx conference. I really enjoyed the work he did, and I asked myself, yeah, that's something I really would love to do. And that's how I started creating math videos in YouTube. So at the time there was not such an initiative here in Morocco. So Kezaku had known some let's say an important gain of popularity very quick between 2013 and 2014, which opened the gates of important partnerships with telecom companies here in Morocco. So that was the best start I could dream of.
Amazing, really. Okay, so you mentioned you started with a corporate career, you being an engineer. What made you think that corporate is not a good fit for you, or maybe you want to pursue something bigger?
Actually, I never thought that corporate is not good, but I was not maybe a good fit for the jobs. You know, I was exerting at the time. I think that corporate is so wide, so wide. I cannot generalize all the corporate world based on 2 or 3 experiences, given that you have hundreds of thousands of companies. So the culture I was used to work on or work within didn't correspond completely to my aspirations. And I felt somehow awkward, you know, in this place. I felt that was not really my place. Given that, I'm sure that at the time there were some jobs that I was dreaming of. So it's just my let's say the start of my career was kind of, let's say, random, because I wanted to have a career in either software engineering or security, because I got my degree, my computer sciences degree, specialized in cybersecurity. I didn't find jobs in this field at the time. So whenever there was an opportunity to gain some experience, I applied, and I just started somewhere I never imagined I could start from. I don't say that the experience was not good. I learned a lot, but that was not my choice. I mean, that was my choice to work there, but this first job or this second job
Your aspiration
was never my dream job, you know. So
Okay.
after spending let's say a couple of months, 3 months, I always had the same feeling that I was not in the right place, and that's how I ended up as an entrepreneur, because I didn't spend much time in corporate world. It didn't exceed 3 years. So after the third year, I just found myself free, alone, and looking for problems to solve, but problems I choose for myself.
So let's go back to Kezako. It started from YouTube videos. So I would
Yes.
say it was like your kind of hobby at the time, because you had your job. Maybe let's say it was socially driven because you wanted to help people learn, or like vulgarize the math to students. How did it change to a fully fledged e-learning platform? And you said, I remember, it was sponsored by big names in the economic field in Morocco. How was that change? How did you manage to do it?
Actually, when I started Kezaku, I didn't have a precise idea of its business model, but at first I just asked myself if my work would be impactful. Obviously, the answer was yes. So I focused mainly on the quality of my content, how I can provide a better value for students compared to what's available in the net. So I was more thinking and digging my way to, let's say, distinguish, you know, my work and make it more, let's say, more valuable than what was afforded back in the day. So I focused mainly on my explanations, how I can make them interactive, how I can make them engaging, how I can provide some serious academic content in a funny way. So that I was experiencing different ways to teach online, because I didn't have this experience. Obviously, I was discovering this field. So I was enjoying it, actually, because in the same time I was learning a new skill, and in the same time I was providing value. So this loop was very, very let's say beneficial for me, because every time I broadcasted a new video, I got new feedbacks, and obviously I learned new things about how to make my product better. So I enjoyed this process for like 1 year, 2 years, until I honed my own process, and I was proud of my work. I mean, beyond the academic work, let's say, different aspects, like the presentation work, the animation, the tonality, the speed, the tone. I mean, there are so many parameters. Even the length of the videos, I mean, the duration. In the beginning, my videos were kind of, let's say, long, but with the time, I learned how to make them shorter and keeping the same level of engagement. So I started with videos, then I started introducing quizzes, and I had this idea that this needs to be hosted in a website, because I wanted to discover what's a tech startup like, so I didn't know how to monetize. Once again, I just had some assumptions. For example, based on traffic, I told myself this platform, in this platform, I will give free courses, so there will be a huge traffic, and then I can monetize with advertising. So that was a basic reasoning. In the end of the day, that was not the business model that worked for Kezaku, because I had some partnerships. Actually, what was really useful for me is that I was communicating in a regular basis.
Keeping the engagement.
In the social medias, whether in Facebook or in, I mean, I used to communicate mainly in Facebook. That was 2013. So I was approached by a very important person in the media industry in Morocco, and he wanted to help me because he saw clearly that work could be really impactful in a bigger level. I want to see this person in Rabat, and this person really supported me and introduced me to Inui. 10 years ago, Inui we're working on CSR projects to drive some social impact in the remote areas in Morocco. So they saw in Kezaku a very good ally in their mission. So that was our first contract for like 2 years, around let's say 700,000 dirhams. So that was good for us as a start, as a beginning. I didn't expect such fast, let's say, success for Kezaku, but in the same time, that was not let's say, a durable success. That was just the first client, and we were not, that was not, let's say, a warranty of success, actually. That was a good sign, but what's the real warranty of success is that you get many clients. You get 10 clients, 20 clients, 30 clients, and you retain them. So when Inui got a change in their direction, in their board, they stopped some initiatives, and that hit our activity because we needed to close doors back in the day in 2015, and that was a great lesson. I talk about this lesson in my book, Serial Failerpreneur. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Yeah. Actually, your book, I've read a couple of chapters, and it's really interesting because what you say is that you need to do your work, have integrity, make sure that your work is perfect, and improve it and enhance it, and communicate, and then just trust the process. And even if you fail, success will come. So behind you, we can see a logo of your other brand. So after Kezaku and a couple of AI ventures, you founded Miratti, which is a luxury leather brand. What inspired you to dive into something completely different? The world of craftsmanship, fashion.
Actually, that's the reason. That was completely different, and that I was curious about what would a completely different experience look like for an engineer. As an engineer, I am naturally curious, and I love challenges. I love new things. Let's say that the main reason why I started this venture was because I always had a digital entrepreneurship experience. So I needed something more rooted to ground, and there is nothing more rooted than leather, than cows, and especially in Morocco, we have this tradition of leather craftsmanship. In French language, this field is called Maroccanerie. It's like Morocco, in French. So we are the let's say the pioneers of this field historically, and in the same time,
we are as in Morocco.
Yes, yeah, and in the same time, Maroccanerie, and in the same time, you have the biggest brands worldwide are from Europe. So that was an interesting topic to dive in. But before I got this at this level of philosophy, I started very simple, in a very simple way. I just wanted the physical business. So Kezako, as I told you, was not really clear as a business model in the beginning. So I wanted something more direct. So I started thinking about e-commerce, and then how I could start an e-commerce. Would it be a drop shipping business? Would it be would I import products from China or whatever? So that was, there was a third option, which was creating products from Morocco. So that's something that resonated for me. And I went to Old Medina. I had this problem because I didn't have a functional bag for my daily needs. I started to experience, let's say, some prototyping based on my needs with a couple of artisans. And I want to thank Abdelilah, who really gave me great support in this first step. So yeah, that was my first experience, and I started my first brand. I called it Alda Bag. Okay. It's like bag, but in Morocco we have this tradition of creating leather in the tanneries of Fez, Old Medina. There is a place which is called Shuara. Shuara is the place where the leather is created out of cow hides with special treatment, with natural treatment, using some ingredients like olives, olive oil, saffron. So the name was really interesting because it's combined between heritage, between tradition and modernity. I always keep actually this signature in my... Yeah, it's the bag.
Okay, yeah.
So the brand was called Alda Bag to refer to this tradition, and at the same time, that was a hint for our products, which are actually bags. So Alda Bag had known a huge success. I've sold more than 100 bags in less than 2 months without paying ads, only with some organic social media posts. And that was a validation that the market needed these kind of products. So that was a great experience, but I needed to stop Alda Bag because I had a difference with my partner Imad. And then when I started a new venture, I called it Miratti. It's like my legacy, Miratti in Arabic. And we decided to add a second T to make it sound like luxury brand, like Maserati, like Ferrari, like Bugatti. So Miratti with double T sounded really exquisite and exceptional and luxurious. So people, they were firstly attracted to the name. And then when they knew that the name hinted on legacy in Arabic, they were more seduced. So the first wow effect was about the name and the storytelling. And then the product in Miratti, I have really worked hard on improving the material, the hardware, compared to Alda Bag, because in Alda Bag I was working with the local artisans in the Old Medina, but in Miratti I decided to upgrade the standard. And let's say everything I didn't do in Alda Bag, I tried to do it in Miratti. So I really worked hard on the packaging, on improving, let's say, the interior of the bag, working on different models. And we had this special TV show in Morocco, which is like the Shark Tank of Morocco. I was featured there 4 years ago, and my performance was really special because I cried. I cried during the TV show, you know, live. At the same time, I was embarrassed, but in the same time, I was happy because as a marketer, I knew that I would touch hearts with this emotional excerpt. So sequence, yeah. So Miratti had known some gain, a big gain of popularity, and we were approached by investors from all around the world. But at the time, I didn't have much experience, so especially internationally. So I've made some mistakes, and that conducted me to suspend Miratti for like 1 year or 1 year and a half. But alhamdulillah, recently I took back, let's say, the bull by its horns, and namely the bull because we are in the leather industry. So now we have more maturity, and there is this wave of the Made in Morocco, Moroccan World Cup, Moroccan African Nations Cup. So there is a big focus on Morocco as an international platform. And we want to take advantage of this to try to position Miratti as a worldwide brand. But first, because I have now experience, my first goal is to establish the brand locally. You know, establish it locally in a very strong way before multiplying the efforts to expand this globally.
Interesting, because I wanted to ask you about your targeted market. You mentioned that you have suppliers from all around the world. You mentioned now that you're appealing to target a global market. How do you keep the authenticity and this mix of modernity, practicality, but also tradition into your brand?
Well, let's say that we have a multifaceted team. People who are interested in the culture, who try to get some inspirations in the history of Morocco. We've got also designers who try to benchmark and watch all the updates of the industry. In the same time, we are always listening for the market needs. Given that Moroccan customer,
global market,
yeah.
You're talking global market.
Yeah, sure. Given that Moroccan clients are not only in Morocco, there are Moroccan clients in Saudi Arabia, in France, in USA,
Nice.
and very often we have Moroccan people who want to represent Miratti in their countries, so as a reseller or as a distributor. So that gives us insights about different markets. And the idea is that we can adapt, you know, we can adapt some features and some communication and our strategy depending on the markets. For example, the prices are not the same. Price in Morocco is not the same price in USA. It's not the same price in Saudi Arabia. So yeah, so what we do is that we watch, we listen the market, we follow the best brands. You know, in business, you need to know your competitors. You need to have some benchmark regularly, and in the same time, you need to have your own identity, your own branding. So we try to combine this Moroccan heritage, Moroccan storytelling, with the needs of the modern client, of the businessman, the businesswoman who travels a lot. That's our main niche, actually. It's directors, C-levels, and 90% of our revenue comes from companies, corporate gifting. So yeah, that's it. We're still in our first steps. Actually, Miratti is only a 5 years old baby. But we leverage our Moroccan community around the world to to accelerate, let's say, this expansion. Given that I'm really careful now, I don't want to do the same mistakes as I did 2 years or 3 years ago. We had big opportunities, but I didn't have, enough experience. I was in my first steps. Today, as I told you, my main goal now is to establish ourselves in a strong way locally, working hand in hand with the public institutions, because in Morocco we benefit from the help of the Ministry of Industry and Trade. We also benefit from the help of the Ministry of Handcraftsmanship. We also have in Morocco Maroc PME, and I want to thank Mr. Said for the big help and support that he's given us. For example, yesterday with Mr. Said, we met a Moroccan designer with an international reputation who did a great job in Oman, in Russia. So we also leverage these collaborations to make our brand radiate and shine globally. One of the best marketing strategies for high-end brands is collaborations, is co-branding. So we don't reinvent the wheel. We just try to do what's proven in the industry. We try as well to be data-driven, to be in the same time digital native, but keep our feet in the ground, because we are in a historical field with artisans. Actually, that's what I love most about Miratti. So it's so, let's say, versatile. The spectrum is large, and leather is something that we can incorporate either in bags or in belts, even in the car interiors. It's something that can be a great of great impact for Moroccan industry. What we think in Miratti is that we don't think about only one brand, because we also have other brands like Al Dabag, because we decided to put it back again. But the idea is that we want to work on an ecosystem with different brands, with different artisans, everyone with its own track. It's a long-term project. We're still in the beginning now.
Obviously. So you mentioned a few things I want to get back to. You mentioned that you cried during that, let's say, Shark Tank program.
Yeah.
And that it helped with your storytelling and enhancing your brand image. You also talked about partnerships and how you had to close your brand temporarily due to some differences with your partners. And you also talked about how you want your brand to be versatile. And in your book, you talk about coherence a lot, coherence about your businesses, and you've touched quite many fields, I would say. So how do you keep the coherence? How do you use storytelling to talk about your brand and market it properly? And how do you target the best partnerships to boost your brand awareness?
So in Miratti, the coherence is that it's a Moroccan brand that aims for excellence, that aims to make Moroccan handcraftsmanship shine. So that are the main elements of the DNA. So Moroccan excellence ambassadors, so Moroccan who are aspiring to success, who are working hard, who are achieving impact in their fields. So those are our, let's say, community, our best community. And in the same time, we need the best artisans to make our work, satisfy the standards of our mission.
I have a question that might sound rather discouraging, but maybe it's a genuine question. Do you think that globally, this made in Morocco will have an impact? Because, for example, when we think leather, I am Moroccan, but I would think Italy, not Morocco. So how do you think that this made in Morocco DNA you're talking about will improve your brand leverage worldwide?
Okay. So we don't need to say it's made in Morocco if it's not relevant, first of all. So if the client is looking for a beautiful bag, and our bag is shown in a very convenient place, you know, in a 5 stars hotel or in an airport or in a luxurious magazine in Champs-Élysées or something, he doesn't need to know that it's Moroccan. But if he asks, he got his story about Miratti.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's the first thing. Second thing, Morocco, Italy, or France, these are let's say this is nation branding. So these countries branded themselves as houses of excellence in terms of handcraftsmanship, of luxury, of fashion, etc. Why not doing the same as Moroccans, especially with our amazing work in the leather field? So this is one of our goals, is to communicate and to produce intellectual content about the Moroccan, let's say, excellence in terms of handcraftsmanship, the Moroccan product. We are currently working on a book that we want to call Morocco 13 Centuries of Heritage. This is a book that we want to sell to companies here in Morocco in order to introduce them to our rich history. You know, there is a story that Mr. Said tells me every time I meet him, even if he got redundant with it, but it's okay. It's a beautiful story. He says that, you know, Youssef, in the 13th century, how many factories we had in Fez, Medina? I told him, I don't know, maybe 500. He told me 3,000. 3,000 factories. Donc, we already had this industrial, you know, this industrial force back in the day in the Mérinide era of Morocco. And we got many stories like that, actually.
So you've started recently a few ventures in the AI space, including as well your role as head of AI transformation and participation. You spoke in major summits. What drew you to AI? Do you think it's important to be, I would say, AI savvy?
Well, actually, I was always interested in this field because I love mathematics, and because I love mathematics, I think that one of the best fields that leverage math are cryptography, artificial intelligence, data science. You got many fields that leverage maths. But personally, I always had this kind of attraction to linear algebra and data science, you know. So artificial intelligence was a topic I always considered even 7 years or 8 years ago, with the advent of machine learning algorithms, especially the deep learning. I was reading a lot about this and trying to figure out some use cases to apply in Kezaku, especially to customize the learning paths. Unfortunately, I didn't have much time to deep dive more in AI because I needed to ensure, let's say, the survival of my startup. So I needed to sell, I needed to market. So I didn't have much time to dig more in AI until 2023, with the buzz created around ChatGPT and many AI tools. We decided, the friend and I, to deep dive into AI by creating content and surfing in the wave. You know, we created an online course in January 2023 in English. The course was about how to create a brand in 48 hours using AI. So that was not the AI in the academical field, but that was more AI as a tool for productivity. So that was our focus, how to help people use AI to improve their productivity. So at first we created this course, then we created some books, how to market your product with AI, and then we started to organize master classes in Morocco. The master classes knew a huge success. with more than 1,000 people attending to our master classes in less than 2 years. This is even an orientation I advise people to undertake, because many companies are still figuring out how they can use AI, but before figuring out, they have this need of educating their collaborators, their board members, in order to integrate AI as a very important component of their strategy. So the market today, the worldwide market, is still in the education phase. It's like we had this obligation to follow this trend, because as you know, the biggest companies worldwide are let's say advocating this AI transformation: Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, etc. So companies around the world, they just need to follow, because we are followers most of the time. And obviously that creates this big business opportunity about AI trainings. So today we have created a new company to help companies or organizations educate themselves about AI. And one of our most important sources of revenue is training of trainers. We train people who are looking for professional conversion, how they can become AI facilitators or AI trainers. It's like a boot camp of 20 hours, a little more. I think it's like 30 hours to cover most of the important topics related to AI, beginning from ChatGPT, machine learning algorithms, AI tools for daily basis, daily work. Because training is the first step of consulting. And when you train, you start advising, and when you advise, you can sell projects, AI implementation projects. The three are linked. So training first, consulting, and AI solutions.
So you used AI to diversify your business's portfolio. Do you still use it to improve your other businesses? I would say cubicle, being an e-learning, or Miratti.
Of course. In Miratti, for example, just using ChatGPT creates a huge difference, because that helps us prototype faster. Yesterday, I took a picture of a real bag, and I asked ChatGPT to create a grid of 12 cells to show me different variations in terms of colors. So that's great. That's a great simple use case that creates a huge difference, because before that used to take a lot of time. That's a simple use case. There are more sophisticated use cases. For example, if a reseller wants to contact us and set an appointment with us, we created an AI agent who is interfaced in WhatsApp, who can respond immediately to any query of the reseller, and he is able also to set an appointment in Google Calendar and send me an email. So this is a work that takes 3 hours, but creates a huge difference. So we cook some AI recipes for ourselves within Miratti, but this time with the hat of AI Forex. And these special recipes, they serve also other industries and other clients. So in Miratti today, I decide to integrate AI for operation and for customer support to free my time, for more human interactions and more relevant human interactions.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, AI now is something that we cannot do without. And it also helps cut the time, improve the quality, etc., and free your time for you to focus on more creative endeavors.
Absolutely. And maybe I can add something more, is that the most powerful yet simple use of AI is content creation. So that helped me create 5 books in 2 years. And today I'm really confident before I start writing a book. Given that book writing is not just fancy, it's a powerful marketing tool. So when you create a book with a lot of value, you can open gates that would take more time if you don't, So I just advise people to integrate AI more regularly, and try to reduce the gap between their current knowledge and what's happening in the field. I know that this field is very, 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 let's say, this field is characterized by its velocity. The information, every week we have a new update, a new upgrade, a new tool, a new disruption. So that's not easy to keep up with. But my most important advice is to go with your own rhythm, but at least just stay regular, stay consistent.
Yeah. So you talked about writing books. We were discussing a bit earlier your serial failurepreneur book, which talks about your experience, the challenges you encountered, how did you overcome them. So we know that entrepreneurship can be a real roller coaster. Can you share just one story of a big challenge, something critical that you faced and how you overcame it?
Well, the book is full of such stories, but if I need to pick up one, maybe I will tell you about my story with independence. As a solopreneur for many years, I found it hard to have business partners. And because I didn't have this experience, the first times I used to consider my business partner like my brother, like my friend. And so I ignored many things, and I was like, going easy going, it's okay, it's fine, and blah, blah. In the meantime, business is not a game. Business is a very serious thing. So when you don't take things seriously, you can have a lot of problems. And the problem I had is that I created some sort of dependence with my partner. Given that in the beginning I was totally independent and my business was thriving, so when I integrated my friend, we started taking decisions, the both of us, the both of us were captains of the team. But that doesn't work that way. If we want a venture to succeed, it needs one leader, and then you can have a board to help you take better decisions. So at the time, my decisions were always linked with the approbation of my partner, and that was not the best way for me. And I talk about this in my first chapter, which is called Independence. The second chapter is called Personal Branding, and how it's important to leverage your business, especially when you start, when you don't have a lot of funds or funding. Third lesson is about due diligence, how important it is to do your job, do your homework, and get information about your partners, because you might ignore or you might miss a very important detail that could be critical to your relationship. The fourth lesson is how to hack your action and to improve your productivity with the same resources. It just takes some hacks, the way you think. For example, I've got this hack which I call V0 is better than zero, which means it's better to take action than just take a lot of time to think about the best solution. Just start and improve, like the Kaizen way. The fifth lesson is about community as a leverage for your business. One of the best ways to sell is to co-create, is to gather the people who have the same problem, try to help them achieve their results, and then introduce your product. That's one of the best ways. The sixth lesson is called delegate. Of course, delegate to better manage. And even if I say that, it's always something which is challenging. Delegation is challenging, but it's very important. Seventh lesson is, I called it échec is mate. It's in French. Échec is failure. So how you can learn from your failures to improve your way of doing. The eighth lesson is how to launch the most minimum viable product, which is a newsletter, which is the best way to start selling a product. You don't need to produce to sell, but first produce good content and produce solution to a niche. by answering to their frequent problems. And the last lesson is silence. The more you are silent, the more you are action driven, and that's the best quality for an entrepreneur.
It was very interesting. You talked about many things people will benefit from: your entrepreneurial transition, the challenges you faced, the number of businesses you tried and you're succeeding in. We wish you all the best for Miratti, for Kazako, and all your other endeavors. Thank you for sharing all these insights, and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Zainab, and wish you all the best with your with your podcast, and I hope that you will have a big impact within your community. Thank you very much.
That's the target. Thank you.
Thank you, Zainab. See you soon. Bye bye.